Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name's Bradley Clary, and on this channel we discuss core doctrine of Christianity and how we should live in light of the good news of the gospel. Today we are going to be continuing our Bible summary by picking up where we left off. Today we are going to be summarizing Genesis 12, specifically the historical context, the relation to the Bible, and the promises to Abraham this chapter holds. If y'all could please smash that like button and subscribe so we can push out this video to more people and further the spread of the gospel, I would greatly appreciate it. Genesis 12 is set in the period following the scattering of the people from the Tower of Babel. Based on traditional biblical chronology, this would be around 2091 BCE after Terah's death. The story begins in Haran, a city in Mesopotamia, and recounts Abram's journey to Canaan. At this time, the world was populated by many different cultures and religions, which the text refers to as pagan. Abram lived in a polytheistic world with the worship of many gods common. However, the narrative positions him and his family as following the God of Abraham. The story is set before the formation of the Israelite nation and the laws of the Sinai covenant. Genesis 1 through 11 cover the primeval history of all humanity. Genesis 12 marks a major turning point by narrowing the focus to a single family, establishing the lineage and promises that will shape the rest of the book and the Old Testament. In this chapter, God calls Abram and makes a foundational covenant with him, promising to make him a great nation and a blessing to the world. This establishes the basis for the Abrahamic covenant, which will form the basis for the relationship between God and the nation of Israel. Genesis 12 establishes a new narrative thread by shifting the focus from the history of the world to the specific intentional work of God through one man and his family. The chapter promises to make Abram a great nation, to give his descendants a land, and to bless all the families of the earth through him. These promises are foundational to the rest of the biblical narrative and are central to understanding the origin and purpose of the nation of Israel. Abram's journey also includes an early test of faith when he goes to Egypt due to a famine, highlighting both the importance of faith and the potential for human weakness. Genesis 12 marks a turning point after the universal sin and curse described in the first 11 chapters of Genesis. God's promise to Abraham focuses on restoring blessing and establishing God's kingdom on earth. God promises to make Abraham a great nation, to give his descendants a land, and to be their God from the foundation and to be their God, formed the foundation of the nation of Israel. So God promises to make Abraham a great nation, give his descendants a land, and be their God, form the foundation for the nation of Israel. The subsequent books of the Old Testament detail the history of this nation from its formation to its eventual exile. The promise that in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed is a central theme that extends to the New Testament. The Apostle Paul explained that this promise is ultimately fulfilled in Jesus Christ, through whom all can believe and can receive the blessings of Abraham. The promise that I will bless you, the promise that I will bless those who bless you, and curse him who curses you, is repeated throughout Scripture, most notably in Balaam's prophecy regarding Israel in Numbers 24. So to reiterate, the promises to Abraham were a great nation. God promised to make Abram a great nation. The land. God promised to show Abram a specific land and to give it to his descendants. A great name and blessing. God said he would make Abram's name great and that Abram would be a blessing. God also promised blessings to all people. God promised that through Abram all the families of the earth would be blessed. And lastly, divine protection. God stated he would bless those who would bless Abram and curse those who would curse him. How the chapter relates to specific parts of the Bible. The Pentateuch. Genesis 12 is considered the thematic center of the Pentateuch, which are the first 5 books in the Old Testament. The rest of Genesis followed the initial stages of this promise, while Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy detail God's covenant relationship with Israel, the nation that descended from Abraham. The Old Testament prophets. The prophets repeatedly call the people of Israel back to their covenant with God, emphasizing that their blessing and land were tied to their faithfulness, and that the promise of a future blessing to all nations would one day be fulfilled. The New Testament. The New Testament presents Jesus as the ultimate fulfillment of the promise made to Abraham. The gospel focuses on his life and ministry, and the rest of the New Testament explains how he brings spiritual blessings to both Jews and Gentiles, just as was promised in Genesis. That's all for now. In the next video, we'll take a look at significant key events and interpretations of this chapter. Thank you for watching another video, and as always, keep on living in light of the good news of the gospel. If y'all like that video and would like to help me reach more people with the gospel, click that sub button and join the team. And also, please consider becoming a patron on my Patreon account, link in description. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.